So it's 2025, and for millions of people, maybe even you, you're in the same situation now at the start of this year as you were a year ago. Okay, so maybe you've made some progress at the gym, or you have landed a higher paying job, or maybe you've met someone, but fundamentally you're still stuck in the same cycle of just working for someone else in a job that you don't find fulfilling at all. And since you're watching this video, you're already someone who is watching self-improvement content. You know that there's going to be more to life than what you are currently living, and you want 2025 to be different than 2024. You want freedom, you want the ability to create, to explore, to travel without financially depending on a salary. And in this video, I'm not going to tell you about the best business model to go for or the most trendy new AI thing that's going to make you the most money. It's just a simple, fundamental mindset change, and it's just agency. It's the ability to make your own decisions and the ability to embrace failing and the ability to embrace making mistakes. So first of all, the comfort trap. So when you work in a full-time job, life becomes very predictable. You wake up, you drive to work, you get to work and you pour your energy for the day for 8 hours into whatever it is that you do. You talk to your co-workers and then you drive home again. And then when you get home, you have lost all your energy, right? You spent it all in the day. And that deep desire that we all have to explore and to discover new things, we don't have the energy to actually go and do that because we've worked all day. So we need some dopamine from somewhere. So we have to get cheap dopamine from Netflix or from watching porn or from scrolling social media. We need to get our dopamine from the click of a button. And this structure of life of going to work and coming home from work and just needing cheap dopamine and having all your energy be expended on your job is like masqueraded as comfort. And it's this comfort that keeps us in this cycle. And it's not our fault that this has happened to us. This is how schools have taught us. Schools want to teach conformity. Everyone needs to be taught the same thing, right? You start off very generalized at school, and then when you latch onto something that you're interested in, you go a bit more specific. Into college, you might do something like engineering or business studies or physical education. And then when we finally get to the job stage, we become very specialized, right? We become super specialized in a very specific skill. And for me, this has been PPC. That's just what I landed on. But growth doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from this predictable structure that school has brought us up through to become specialized in a specific job role. And this is where I've gone wrong, because I've been running this YouTube channel for over 2 years now and made nearly 300 videos. But that whole time I've been under this illusion that I can do this whilst working a full-time job and kind of do it as a side hustle, if you want to call it that. But what this has meant is that the whole time I've been running this YouTube channel, I've been very comfortable. I've been getting paid every month a very predictable wage, and that's allowed me to go and do the things that I want to do, right? Go out and drink, sit at home and play video games, meet my friends and buy clothes and stuff like that. I've been very comfortable this whole time running this YouTube channel. And what this means is that I've never fully poured my heart and soul into YouTube, into doing the thing that I want to do, because I've always had a comfort blanket underneath me. So if YouTube fails, or if I don't upload a video, or if I just stop doing YouTube for a bit, it's never going to matter because I always have income coming in anyway. So it's this kind of comfort blanket that is limiting your potential to grow and to actually go and do the things that you want to do. So that's the first thing I want you to understand, is you just can't have a comfortable life and expect things to change on their own. Section 2, embracing failure. So you will fail, right? And this is something that people find scary. You're going to fail and you're going to make mistakes, but you really need to put yourself into a situation where it's not even just likely that you're going to make mistakes, it's inevitable. Because when we make mistakes, that's how we learn. This is how we're going to build the path forwards for what we actually want to do with our lives. We don't know what we want to do with our lives yet. You might not have any idea of what you actually want to do, but you need to be willing to try things and fail at things and make mistakes, and then naturally that is going to craft your path forward into the future. But I'll get more into that idea later on. You need to put yourself into a situation where it feels very risky, right? If you quit your job, it's going to be very risky, and you need to put yourself into this kind of mindset where failure isn't an option. But of course you will fail and you will make mistakes, but you need to put yourself into that mindset in order to actually go and have the drive and the capability to put your energy into something that No one's got a gun to your head saying you need to do this. You don't have a boss that's telling you that you need to get this done by 12 o'clock, right? You're doing it on your own accord. This is where the agency comes in. This is what I was talking about at the beginning. The ability to make your own decisions and then learn from them failing, right? The mistakes that you create for yourself. So this YouTube channel, for example, if I leave my job and I just rely on YouTube, or I just rely on my PPC clients, that could be a huge mistake for my life. But the only way I'm going to learn whether it is a mistake or not is if I don't have that comfort blanket underneath me, because nothing is going to be a mistake or a failure. No side project will be a mistake or a failure if you're still constantly getting a regular salary, because you can still have a good life with a regular salary. You can still go out and have drinks and get very drunk with your friends and have a good time, right? I'm not saying my life is bad right now. I feel like I could do more with my life, and you're probably in the same situation. So by now you're probably thinking, well, what is it then, Joe, that I should do, right? I've told you that you need to make mistakes. I've told you that you need to fail. And I've told you that you need to rip away that comfort blanket from underneath you that is, cushioning the blow of failing right now, so that you can actually go ahead and really learn from the stuff that you're doing. You might be thinking, should I just do YouTube? Should I do content creation? Should I do SMMA? Well, honestly, all of them work, right? I personally did SMMA to start with, and I didn't really enjoy that. And now I'm doing YouTube, and I do enjoy it. And I've seen some success on YouTube. And honestly, the only way that you're going to find out what thing that you want to do is best for you is just trying all of them, right? Trying both SMMA and YouTube, trying whatever business model you want to try, because you're not going to know which one you enjoy doing, or which one you're going to find success from, or which one you're skilled at or willing to work on unless you try it. It's like going to the gym. If I asked you, do you prefer barbell bench press or dumbbell bench press, and you had never done either of the two, you wouldn't be able to tell me that you prefer dumbbell bench press over barbell, because you've never done either of them. You would just do one of them and then do the other, and then you would find out which one you prefer. Point is, you're not going to know which thing you want to pour your time and energy into until you start. But there's no point in starting when you're already so comfortable in your life. But if you don't start something this year, something will get picked for you. This is how people end up drifting through life, just doing whatever it was that was assigned to them, that was coded into them at school, that they kind of enjoyed a little bit. Maybe when they were a kid, they got kind of interested in doing that one specific job, and then they just end up doing that their whole life. This is how people drift through life, having never achieved any of the things that they truly wanted to do. And this is kind of the situation that I'm in, where if I don't get myself out of the job that I'm in, I'm just going to continue being in this comfort blanket and just drifting through life, doing this thing that was kind of just assigned to me because I'm kind of good at it. And, maybe I kind of enjoyed it when I first started it, PPC specifically, but I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. And you might not want to do the thing that you're doing for the rest of your life either. So the point is, go and pick something that you can start doing right now, even if you don't want to do that forever, even if you don't know if you'll even enjoy doing that forever. The whole point is starting and doing is what's going to allow you to discover along the way what you actually want to do. And that is kind of the whole nature of agency. It's having the ability to make that decision for yourself on what you want to focus on and what you want to spend your time and energy putting into, and not knowing if it's going to work or not. You don't have to have this all figured out and planned from the very beginning. You just need to start, throw yourself into something, take a risk, and then learn from the mistakes and learn from it failing. This is just genuinely agency, and this is the thing that you don't get taught in schools. Section 3, becoming a specialized generalist. So a specialized generalist, that sounds like an oxymoron. It sounds contradictory. Specialized generalist. But I genuinely think this is the thing that is, one, not taught in schools, and two, not enough people know about it or understand this concept. And that is why a lot of people don't end up being successful. They end up just specializing in one specific job role, and then they're easily replaceable, they're easily expendable, because being specialized in one thing means that it can be replaced by someone else who's specialized, or by an AI or a machine that is also specialized in that thing. Whereas being a specialized generalist is something that really can't be replaced, because it revolves around this concept of agency. It's very personable to you specifically. So in self-improvement, you'll have probably heard of this concept of single ordinating principles, and it's something I've talked about before, but it's basically that graph where there's a circle with arrows coming off it, and if you're focused and kind of flitting around lots of different things that you're working on, you can never truly excel in one specific area. The best example I can give you is watering of plants. So let's say you have 10 plants and you have a set amount of water, you water them all a little bit, maybe they'll grow very slowly, maybe some of them will die, but you're not really going to get anywhere. Whereas if you just save all the water for one plant, that plant might flourish and become very beautiful, and the rest of the plants will die. And that is kind of the whole idea of a single ordinating principle. It's like one specific task or thing that you're just going to put all your time and energy into. And I agree that focusing on one thing rather than lots of different things is actually very beneficial. But I think a lot of people misconstrue this with the idea of focusing on one specific task, like just record videos, just edit videos, just get clients, right? When really you should replace the task with the mission, the overarching goal. And this is where the specialized generalist portion comes in, because in order to achieve your goal, that might involve having to become specialized in 5 or 6 different things. So for me, my dream, my goal, my overarching mission in life is to become financially and time free, location free, achieve location freedom, be able to work from wherever I want and not have to be tied down to one specific place or tied down to one specific income. Now that might sound like a very big goal, and it is a very big goal. And getting to achieve that goal, there is multiple ways I could do it, and it's definitely not going to involve just doing one thing. It's going to involve becoming specialized in lots of different things, and that's how you become a specialized generalist. So for me, it could be YouTube, PPC clients, learning and improving my knowledge on concepts, and then gym, right? That could be the 4 things, and for you it might be different. But the whole point of this is really a specialized generalist is just someone who is specialized in learning, making mistakes, trying things, and doing things. You basically just become a specialized doer, a specialized wing-itter, a specialized fuck-itter, basically, right? You're just gonna say, fuck it, try it, become specialized in trying things, doing things, and failing at things, learning about things. That is a specialized generalist. Like, I didn't know how to do YouTube 2 years ago, and no one taught me how to do YouTube. I just started YouTube and just learned how to do it. The same with my actual job that I have now, right? In PPC, I wasn't taught how to do advertising. I just got lucky and started a job in a digital marketing agency and then just learned as I went. And that is kind of the skill that I want to give to you in this video for 2025. I think it's going to be the most important skill going into the future with AI and all the kind of machine learning coming up. I think a lot of very specialized jobs are going to be replaced. A lot of people are going to become replaceable. And I think if you can become a specialized generalist, i.e. your specialty is you can learn how to do things, so it's very general, but you're just good at starting things and doing things and giving things a chance. That is where you're going to see the difference this year. And being a specialized generalist is not something that you will find in any job description. It's something that will only benefit you as a person. It will allow you to create things and provide value to people, yes, but there's no one job that needs a specialized generalist. It is something that is going to be kind of your new job role, right? Maybe you could think of yourself after watching this video as like your job role. The thing you do is you're a specialized generalist, right? You're going to learn, you're going to try new things, and you're going to wing it, and you're going to kind of go as you're going to learn as you go, essentially, and that is your job role. So now that I've covered the basic mindset, we want to be a specialized generalist. We need to avoid comfort. Comfort is the killer of growth. Now I'm going to give you some actionable advice. So section 4, actionable advice. The first thing I'm going to say is money, expenses. how much money do you actually need to survive? If you have car payments, if you are renting an apartment or a house, or you have commitments like children, it's obviously going to be much more difficult for you to take the leap and to quit your job, right? Quit the thing that is kind of limiting your ability to grow massively, right? So that's the first thing. Just evaluate your expenses. Like for me personally, and probably for you, you still live with your parents, you don't have any car payments to make, you don't have many bills going out every month. So really for me, what actually is all this money needed for? What is this salary needed for? And you need to reframe how you think about your job. So you're getting paid a salary to live your life and to go out drinking and to buy expensive clothes and to go on holiday and have good times and explore the world, but you still confined to that box of being in a job, that energy drain of a job, that comfort blanket. Remember, the job is what's creating the comfort. The job is what's providing that predictable, consistent income to you, and it's providing that safety net underneath your entire life that is stopping you from taking any leaps. Because if you just leap, if you fail at YouTube, if you fail at SMMA, if you fail at whatever it is you want to do, you always have that safety blanket of your job. So why would you ever need to put all your heart and soul into any project? Because you always have a safety blanket. So the job is the first thing that we need to look at, and we need to look at our expenses and just ask yourself, would it be the end of the world if you quit your job tomorrow? Would it actually be the end of the world? How fucked would you be? Just think about it. How screwed are you? Like, do you have enough savings to cover yourself for the next 2, 3, 4 months? Do you even need to have much money to cover yourself for the next 2, 3, 4 months? Could you do a monk mode and just not go and see your friends very often? Could you just limit your expenses? I'm sure you could. I'm sure if you really sat down and thought about it, you probably don't need to spend that much a month. So that safety blanket underneath you, is it actually a safety blanket, or is it just comfort? It's just paying you comfort. That's not allowing you to go explore any other options of what you could possibly do in your life. Because one thing I've noticed as well is when you actually have less money and you're getting paid way less money, you automatically just spend less money. Because if you don't have that big number in your bank account, or that bigger number that's going into your bank account every month, then you naturally start to limit your expenses. So I don't think it would be a huge issue for most people if they were to actually just quit their job, if they thought about it. For a lot of people, maybe some people watching this, it would be impossible to quit your job on the spot. But I do think for a lot of people, maybe you catastrophize quitting your job, and you catastrophize about how big of an impact it will actually have. And I don't think people realize the impact of being in this constant state of comfort, this predictable routine of kind of being a robot, just working away at a job and getting paid in that routine, how detrimental this is on growth and on your ability to put energy and invest energy into other things and to kind of achieve this job role of being a specialized generalist. It's kind of impossible to do when you have this safety net of a job. And the last bit of actionable advice I'm going to give you is to just start. Now, this might seem very vague, but it is actually quite actionable. You will not know what to do. So you're going to be at your job and you're not going to have, you might have a rough idea of what you want to do if you leave your job and what you're going to work on, what you're actually going to spend your time doing in the day, but you're not going to fully know. And it's something that I found you only discover what you are going to do when you just start. So for example, when I started this YouTube channel, I really just did it because I had nothing else to do. And I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. All I knew is that I liked watching self-improvement YouTubers like Hamza and Dan Coe, but I didn't really know what I could offer. I didn't know what value I could provide to anyone. So I had no idea what to do. But then one day I just put my camera, my iPhone up on the tripod, and I just hit record. And I had no notes, I had nothing to talk about. And I sort of just stared at the camera just for like 5-10 minutes and didn't actually say anything. And that is when the ideas started to come, right? That's when I actually had a thought pop into my head of what I wanted to maybe talk about. And I just made the first video, right? And it was probably terrible. I don't even really remember what I spoke about, but it was probably terrible. Anyway, but you learn, right? And that was the starting point. And then before I knew it, I'd made my first video without having any real plan. So what a lot of people do, and what I've done as well, is you wait until you have everything planned out. You wait until you have this kind of big business plan and you want to make it predictable. And that's because you're so used to having your life be predictable. You go to work, you get home from work, you watch TV, you do that for 30 days and then you get paid. And you kind of want to leave your job and still have that predictability in your life. But that predictability, that is the comfort. That comfort of having regular income, and that is the thing that's stopping you from leaving your job and just doing and being a doer, right? And having this agency to go and do things and mess up and make mistakes. It's because you're waiting to have a plan. You want it to work. You want it to basically work out, right? Everyone wants it to work out, but you're not willing to embrace the idea that it might not work out and it might fail and you might make mistakes, but this is where you're going to learn. This is the agency part. So my point is, don't wait until you've figured it out to make the leap. The actual act of making the leap, not having that safety blanket underneath you and just starting, that is actually the start of how you figure out what you're going to do. It kind of seems backwards, like you think you plan it out first and then do it. But with this, trust me, with like working on your own stuff, being self-employed and working on projects and having the agency to just start things, you will not know what you're doing. You just need to start it first and kind of just figure it out as you go along. Like in the truest sense of the word, you just need to wing it. Action creates clarity. Sitting and thinking does not. Section 5, the power of doing. So you're never going to fully figure out what you want to do. And what you want to do now will be different from what you want to do 10 years from now, or even next week. It will be different. So you just need to do something, and you don't need to wait until you've figured out your entire life in order to start. I feel like a lot of people want to start the best business model possible and to just do that forever and kind of get rich off of that. And they don't realize that it's going to be the 3, the 4, the 5 different projects that they do before whatever it is that they mainly focus on for their life that is going to influence you the most in terms of what you actually want to do. So for me, this YouTube channel, I'm enjoying working on the YouTube channel, but it might not be what I do forever. Honestly, it might not be. And again, I work on PPC, which is marketing for my own clients whilst I'm doing YouTube, right? Again, specialized generalist, right? I can do lots of different things and that's fine. You can learn about lots of different skills. You need to have lots of different skills so that you're not replaceable, right? If YouTube ever goes away, I still have something else. And it might be the case that when I work and get a few more PPC clients and continue to work on PPC, that maybe that's something that I don't want to do anymore, right? So it could be multiple things that you don't want to do anymore, but you need to start something. You need to just do something and learn these skills as you go. So I guess the closing kind of thought to bring it all together, agency, specialized, generalist, everything like this, to bring it all together, it's don't be a professional thinker. Don't be a professional planner. Just be a professional doer. Just be someone who is willing to do stuff, mess up, fail, get it wrong, get it completely wrong, maybe get it right sometimes and then get it wrong again. And just be someone who's willing to do that with lots of different things and just try and explore and navigate. Because as you do all these different things, it could be YouTube, SMMA, dropshipping, whatever it is, writing. As you do all these different things, you're going to learn from each experience and automatically you are going to narrow yourself down into something that you both enjoy and are very good at and find success at. But you have to kind of go through this funnel, right? And that is kind of the compass of life, right? The compass of life is just failure and making mistakes. But right now, you're in a position where you're not allowing yourself to make mistakes because you're in a very predictable, pattern of a life. Your job is very predictable. You get paid regularly and you're stuck in that cycle, which doesn't allow for mistakes to be made. Because even if you make a mistake, you do YouTube like me on the side with your job, even if you mess up YouTube and get it wrong and don't make any money 1 month, it doesn't matter because you're still getting paid from your job. So you never have that true breathing room for those mistakes to have any weight to them. Whereas when you don't have that safety blanket anymore of a job, and you allow yourself the time freedom to actually go and explore and to really see what you actually want to do with your life, that is when you can fully pour your energy and passion into different things, try and become a specialized generalist, learn these new skills, and really feel the weight of the failure and the mistakes that you make along the way, which will all influence you towards where you want to be. And I can't tell you where that is, right? I cannot tell you the best business model to do. All I can tell you is from my own experience. So maybe start with YouTube, maybe start with an agency, maybe start with whatever. I don't know, maybe you have some kind of skill that I aren't even aware of. It could be programming or coding or video game design or whatever it is. Just do that thing and go for it, right? But all I will say is try do it without this safety blanket underneath you, this kind of comfort. The whole point of this video, the main message I want to get across to you is comfort is seriously the killer of growth. It really is. And when you can remove that comfort and really work at something whilst having this kind of, you're kind of on the cliff edge, right? If you mess up, you fall. If you have that mindset, if it feels risky, if it feels like, oh shit, I really need to do well at this, that is where you're going to grow. That is where you're really going to start focusing down. And that's where I want you to get this year. And I think you could have the best year of your life if you just do that. Okay, a bit of a longer video today. I hope you found that video helpful in some way. Thank you so much for watching, mate. And I will see you in the next one.